How does it feel to have everything revealed? I'd say fantastic. I mean, there's nothing better than seeing your work out there in the streets.
I just simply, notice it outside how many of our designs and projects are actually now alive, and that feels awesome. That feels really good. Volvo definitely has benefited from that exceeding an individual performance by having 3 people working with a mindset that accelerates the whole result.
I would say our dynamic is a really cool one because we discuss a lot. We don't always agree.
No.
He's now over at BMW, I do believe. We're going to jump into the video shortly. I just want to show you this.
And I think it's good not to agree. I mean, that's a strength that I think we challenge each other.
Now we talked a lot about the lineup that you see on the
lineup.
street out there, but of course we are already deep in preparing for the next step in the future.
I think the future of luxury is more focused on connecting with people's personal lives and providing their needs.
We have a big shift from the propulsion to electric. We have things like autonomous drive. We have things like new business models, us not just producing for the private customers. That is exciting.
The sources of inspiration have shifted, and the interesting thing is that since technology will change so much, the actual
thing about Volvo design is it's such a timeless design that even though these cars are now close to a decade years old, S90 I do believe came out in maybe 2017 or something like that, they still look fresh. And that is the Scandinavian design, the very simplistic design that we have in Volvos.
Change in technology is the inspiration.
I don't believe that you will have a natural split between propulsion cars looking that way and electric cars looking the other way. Aerodynamics being much more on the top of the agenda again is certainly an effect of electrification that will change and influence the look of the cars. So electrification will have a strong impact on the way we design cars, but it will not be limited to the effects on electric cars. It will be the trend of automotive design.
So, the sad news here from Volvo is that unfortunately we lost another wagon here in the United States. The V60 Polestar engineered is no more. One of the best looking wagons on the market, unfortunately. It didn't sell a lot here in the States. Too bad, because I really wanted to see this be continued, but we still have a couple of wagons here in the States from Volvo. We're going to talk about those as well and jump into Photoshop. And I'll let you know why I love this design so much. And I think it's, as I said, one of the best looking wagons on the market. It's a timeless design, classy looking vehicle, and I wish it was still on sale here for 2025. So Volvo V60 Polestar engineered plug-in hybrid EV. Wagon discontinued in the US. This article from Car and Driver, I'm going to link it down below. Our favorite Scandi wagon has been relegated to the sauna upstate for good. So sauna is, Car and Driver is more of a Finnish thing than a Swedish thing. But I see what you're trying to do here. So Volvo has discontinued the V60 Polestar engineered plug-in hybrid station wagon for the United States. And this decision was made as Volvo moved V60 production to its facility in Ghent, Belgium. Thankfully, this does not mark the death of all wagons, Volvo wagons in our market, with Volvo confirming that the V60 Cross Country and the V90 Cross Country, also a fantastic looking vehicle, are still on sale here and will continue to be on sale. So as sad as we are about it, we don't blame the automaker for this decision, because the reason being why they canceled this is they sold fewer than 3,500 wagons in the US last year. So here's the deal. If you're in the market for, let's say, an XC40, XC60, maybe even an XC90, consider buying, or at least go test driving the cross-country, the V90 cross-country and the V60 cross-country. I think you're gonna be surprised at how dynamic those feel when you drive it compared to a high-riding SUV. And maybe you will change your mind, and maybe you will buy a wagon instead of an SUV, and maybe more automakers are going to realize that people are actually starting to buy wagons here in the States and bring them over. The RS4 Avant the M3 Touring that we don't get here and stuff like that I want to see here. So thankfully, the change doesn't spell total destruction at Volvo's North American wagon lineup. As I said, we still have the cross-country models for US and Canada, even though the V60 Polestar engineered the high-performance wagon, which is one of the coolest one that we definitely still want to have, is that here. So the most recent version of this athletic V60 paired a 312 horsepower turbo 4-cylinder with a 143 pony electric motor for the rear axle to produce a combined 455 horsepower and 523 pound-feet of torque. Not bad at all. And in addition to that, you also got 44 miles of EV range, according to Car and Driver's testing. So this is a great package. Looks beautiful on the exterior. Stunning interior with some very simplistic Scandinavian designs and materials, you know, minimal design, but still with a personality, which is not easy to do. And then you have this powertrain with up to 44 miles of pure EV range and 455 horsepower in total. I mean, it's just the whole package for me. So the surviving V60 cross-country and V90 cross-country feature less potent engines, with the former powered by a 247 horsepower turbo 4 and the latter 295 horsepower from a supercharged and turbocharged 4-cylinder with a 48-volt hybrid system. So the power is definitely down here compared to the Polestar engineer, and I think specifically the V90 cross country is such a big vehicle that it would be nice to have that one with this Polestar engineered powertrain. That would be a beast. I mean, just a beauty of a wagon. So we just hope Americans can come to their senses in time and save the few remaining station wagons before this entire segment goes completely extinct, which it kind of looks like it's about to do. So with that said, let's jump into Photoshop here. This came out, I do believe this generation came out in 2017 or 2018. I do believe 2017. And look at this design. This looks like it could be a 2025 model year, no problems at all. Very chiseled looking front fascia, clean design and angles and chamfers all over the front end. Thor's hammer headlights here looking beautiful. And look at this stunning chamfer going down here, housing the key graphic elements in the lower section. We also have a clear separation between the top half right here and the lower section. Love these wings as well that stick up. Beautiful chamfer. Again, just chamfers all over the place. I love chamfers in car design. I just think it makes it look, I don't know what it is. It combines an emotional feature with this sort of almost sculptural vibe that we have for car design, and I think Volvo has done that so well. Look at the side view here. Long roof, of course, being the wagon version, sloping backwards. We have this chisel design again for the taillight design going into this area, and this has, yes, look at this. We have a connection from the sideline here going into this area here. Clear bumper in the lower section as well. Beautiful shoulder line with this sharp design right here. We have a sharp line up front as well. Stately front end, perfectly vertical, and with the lower section down here having sort of a lip spoiler at the bottom, looking very nice and very sporty. The V60, I think the entire V60, not just the Polestar engineered, but also the regular V60 is probably not going to continue to be on sale here. We only have the cross-country versions now, which sits, of course, you got some plastic cladding here, sit a little higher, and everybody thinks it's not a wagon, so I can probably buy it. It'll still look cool in it. Looks more like an SUV. It's a shame. So looking at the rear end, we have still this very tight and sculpted rear end with the typical Volvo taillights here. I like this line here as well, because what this does, creating two chamfers, one at the lower section here, and then you have this chamfer up top where the Volvo logo actually sits, looking beautiful. And I like that we have a clear defined bumper, something that is, as you know, going away today. We have sort of both of these lines. Both this line connects to this, and also this lower section, the bumper line, also has a connection to this side line that goes in the center of the car. I also like that this is body painted, looking very sporty. And what's going on with Volvo here? This is unusual to see on a Volvo, but we do have quad tailpipes on this machine, making it look very, very sporty. And also just brings in some aggressiveness to a Volvo, which again is not really common to see in a Volvo, but I love that they did it with this V60. And looking at the interior, again, I mean, these type of interiors came out in 2017. Looks absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't want to change a thing. Maybe now that I look at it, I see that we don't have buttons for the climate settings here. You have the climate settings integrated down here. It doesn't look like we have buttons for it down there. That's probably the only thing that I would like to change. We have a nice, beautiful flow of the gauge cluster right here. Digital, completely digital. You can customize it, do whatever you want. There's maybe a little bit too much gloss plastic in this interior, but look at the screen. It's not too big. It's integrated in the dash. It doesn't stick up, and it feels like it's part and welcomed inside of the dash here, looking beautiful. Nice center console. Personally, I loved the floating center console that we had for Volvos in the mid 2000s. I think that little design feature where you have the floating center console and you have some storage behind it, that was such a unique integration. It's something that blew my mind when I first saw it. It was something I've never seen before, and I wish they brought that back to have that sort of flow design here as well in the newer models. And looking at the steering wheel, very, very simple steering wheel, nothing crazy going on here. Some controls for the cruise control settings and the gauge cluster configurations right there. Just overall a stunning looking machine, and it is a shame that we're going away from wagons now, and starting to people are just buying SUVs still. So again, if you're in the market for an XC60 specifically, I think you should test drive now that we only have the V60 cross country. It's better than an SUV, even though it sits a little higher than the regular V60. But just go and test drive it and see what you think. Take some corners, compare it to the higher riding XC60. And I do think you're gonna fall in love with the V60 cross country. Hopefully you do, because I want to keep wagons for sale here in the United States for a foreseeable future, and we only do that if we buy them.